from NiP. It's interesting because we really didn't see that much Rubik in their last match, the best of five against Team Empire. But here they're up against Alina the Disruptor. Certainly some good spells to grab. And it's also, in picking it up early in the draft, kind of denies BBC heroes that they would like to pick that would be really good to steal from. I mean, like, oftentimes there's enough of a deterrent not to pick up things like Tidehunter and Enigma, other major big ulti carriers there. So we'll see if BBC go the route of ignoring all those heroes because the Rubik would be too good against them, or just flooding the game with them and making it so that the Rubik has to choose which of his amazing skills to steal. But as far as the bans go, of course, the Troll, the Sniper banned out, as well the Wisp and the Earthshaker. So Lena and the Queen of Pain are going to be the big pickups, but interestingly not the Batrider. Batrider is very popular in the Eastern scene, but here in the Western, slightly lesser valued. And yeah, they're just going to go ahead and let it through to phase two. And we're going to see Meepo Venge banned out, as well as the Treant and the Drow. So just
Pretty,
got this, yeah.
pretty standard bantamweight Meepo against Weeha, right? Like, if
Mhm.
you want that Meepo, you have to pick it up in the first one too, pretty much. No one will let you have a 3-4 Meepo if you're Balkan Bears alone anymore. Ever since Weeha was playing it, Padrino also used to play it as. I actually got to know Balkan Bears a bit there. They're all really great guys. Met him at MLG Columbus, and they had some funny words to say about Padrino, who used to be their old player. They didn't kick him out or anything. He just had some personal reasons, couldn't really play anymore. But they quote he plays all the cancer heroes. That is pretty much his play style. So Broodmother, Meepo, anything that you want to classify as cancer or unique in a certain way. Broodmother, very unique hero. Meepo, obviously, super unique. Padrino plays all of those. So even back then, it was still kind of standard to ban away Meepo against Balkan Bears, and of course Weeha, a legendary Meepo in his own right, is constantly seeing that Meepo ban in the 3-4. They're going to go for a Phoenix pickup on Balkan Bears, the Juggernaut grabbed by Ninjas in Pajamas.
Yeah, and I've seen this combo work out pretty well for BBC in the past. What they do is they use the Disruptor, a kinetic field, to zone people away, so they're out of range of attacking the egg, but still perhaps in range of actually its AoE, its radius of effect, and that's going to be the intention of just getting that ultimate out, successfully getting the damage, the stun, without actually risking the Phoenix's life. Ideally, that's going to keep him alive perfectly fine. It's also really good against Juggernaut, because Juggernaut's going to commit an Omni Slash pretty early into the fight, and that's when the egg can go down, and you're assuming that there's only 4 heroes actually able to right-click as a result of that. But they are two range heroes right now, Rubik and Queen of Pain. Pretty good attack animations there between the two. So Phoenix still has to have a pretty good start here, and of course can be lifted out of his Icarus dive by the quick telekinesis. So risky offlaner, to be honest with you, but still in the right hands can do a lot of work, of course. And they're going to combo it up with the Magnus here. So the Wombo combo is alive. Disruptor, Lina, Phoenix, Magnus all have something to offer in the AoE department, but it does mean that Lina's going to be a support, and she's going to be supporting their last core pickup for BBC.
So I kind of feel like with this Magnus pickup, we're obviously running some sort of hard carry, but can be a bit active, and I think the best hero pickup would probably be the Phantom Assassin at this rate. The pure damage of the Queen of Pain is a little bit annoying for the Queen of Pain for the Phantom Assassin to deal with, because she's pretty reliant on that BKB, and you don't want to be dealing with any burst damage to get through that. But I think the Phantom Assassin is pretty strong versus the Juggernaut and works really well synergy-wise with the Magnus, allowing you to farm up ancient stacks and that sort of things. It's just kind of one of those, because you're looking at right now, Balkan Bears have a lot of utility, unless they're running something really funky, like they're putting all 3 of these heroes, Phoenix, Magnus, and Lina, on core positions, which I highly, highly doubt, because that would be a super early game lineup. We're going to presume this Lina's a support, in which case it's just utility, right? There's a little bit of damage out from Lina, but primarily it's utility out of the rest of these Balkan Bears heroes. So they got to be running just like some heavy damage dealer that is strictly damage and really not much else. And I think Phantom Assassin fulfills that role perfectly.
Yeah, definitely. There are some risks with the hero, of course, but still just being able to emphasize that this is their sole core that's going to be able to carry the game to victory. Yeah, I can't imagine a better hero to carry the game. I mean, obviously there are some alternatives that would work okay, but not with the tempo that you're talking about. So one thing that I did remember from yesterday when I was casting with Durka, BBC Yapsor, the captain here, is actually an incredible Rubik player. Like, one of the best I've seen. And I mean, maybe it's just the fact that I saw it just yesterday, but he just was playing like a madman, stealing the most amazing spells, getting an Ags out on the hero, which is rare to see. But the fact that Rubik was picked up so early by NiP shows they've been researching, shows they've been planning, preparing for this game. And we'll see exactly what they're going to bring to it as some denial picks, some obviously strong pickups with Era's Juggernaut. We've seen him a few times. Whenever he gets that Bloodlust, he's able to farm so quickly. Mask of Madness, Bloodlust, he goes to double or triple stacked Ancients, clears those out when he has Empower, and those are great. But in this case, Magnus was picked up by BBC, and they're not going to be able to enhance the Juggernaut in that capacity. Just the attack speed, just the movement speed. He'll still farm fast, but not with the multi-steroid action. So Slark's the last pick here. Empowering the Slark, obviously huge with the potential for his ability to steal Essence Shift. And that's going to be just allowing him to stay on target. Huge amounts of damage built up very quickly.
Synergy-wise, how do you think the Magnus... Because, like, I'm looking at this BalkanBears lineup, and I was looking at... I basically see all these heroes sort of setting up one hero, and that one hero happens to be Slark here, as opposed to a number of other carries. Do you think that the Slark was a wise choice? Does it actually work well enough with primarily the Magnus? Do you think that Empower is good enough with the Slark?
Oh, absolutely. I think that he's still going to be attacking fast. He might not be attacking the target he wants to necessarily because they have ways to move about against him, like the Queen of Pain blink away, the Axe taunt to control him. That's going to force him onto the wrong target, like for the first few seconds of the fight. But it's still hitting people. It's still stealing essence. And in the end, it's still going to be every single hit him getting 3 agility, which is then enhanced by 50% damage output by that Empower. So overall, I think it's going to be great. And then also, Slark is a hero that a lot of times you have to commit pretty heavily to in order to guarantee that you're going to kill him off, because otherwise he'll slip through with the Pounce or a Dark Pact, maybe the Shadow Dance. He's going to be able to kind of disengage and force NiP to pursue him. So in order to actually bring him down, you have got to commit everything. But when you do that, you set yourself up for some major AoE, and the other 4 heroes do that expertly.
Seal Kid, is he playing the bait game? It looks like it. He's like, I'm an Ogre Magi, come attack me. And BBC are like, all right, there's no way Seal Kid's playing this far forward without a plan in mind. And he does have several heroes that are rotating behind him. So there's going to be no engagement so far. Seal Kid, they're probably just going to push out against BalkanBears and try and sneak in the ward. They do end up seeing ward for ward there, I think. Levy was spotted out placing this ward right here. Not sure if he realizes that the ward was placed here, but he should kind of know. If Seal Kid's going in this direction and backing out, it probably means he warded up the pole camp there, and that means BalkanBears may have the chance to deny it. Now, Yapzor is going to be playing the Lina, Boots versus Lina, to ensure that this top lane does manage to pick up the bounty rune for the Magnus. Hook is going to be playing with the Magnus, by the way. This is their stand-in. They recently dropped Masakari and are now playing with their... I know they've actually kind of needed a mid for a while. In fact, I know Blitz was actually scrimming with them for a while just because they didn't have a mid laner. So he was just kind of helping them out at the time.
Yeah, I actually got to see Blitz play on support yesterday. He was standing in for them, and it was actually still Hook on the mid. So they had a lot of confidence in their mid, and he actually performed quite well. Like I saw him play like 4 different matches, different heroes every time, and still just kind of showing what he could accomplish in terms of playmaking. But getting the help of the Lina makes this lane a no-brainer. Limp is going to be suppressed pretty early on, and with the bounty rune, Hook got his early bottle. So now he's pretty much got the free lane. Yapzor can rotate down bottom and try to help out the Slark, who's kind of playing 1v3 right now.
Yeah, I'm a bit concerned about this. Normally, I wouldn't have a problem with this because, like, the aggro try, yes, it's getting the Slark, but Slark can survive, and then the Phoenix should be able to do pretty well in this 1v1 lane, and Phoenix is definitely one of those heroes that I very rarely do I think you should let a 1v1 happen solely because that hero does so much if it gets a good laning phase. But my biggest concern for BalkanBears is, again, I see their lineup, their whole entire draft is just being a setup for their carry in a way, and if their carry is shut down, if he doesn't have the amount of HP to survive through the basic nukes, if he doesn't have the damage necessary to win the fight, all the setup in the world may mean nothing if the Slark has been completely shut down. So I'm a bit concerned that this aggro try is kind of upsetting BalkanBears' plan. But then again, there is the offside. As long as the Phoenix does well in the mid game with the levels that he's going to get here, he will be able to find space for the Slark later on.
Yeah, and of course they can always stack up camps between Dark Pact and Empower. He's going to be able to cleave through the neutral creeps really quickly. So
True.
I think just kind of getting him levels for now, and then bouncing back with AoE farming and a lot of emphasis on giving him the jungle is going to be all right. It's not ideal, but as long as the Phoenix has a good start, like he said, Trinket Boots into Midas should be the build for him. And after that, he can kind of go and just play like practically a 5 position. He can just say, okay, well, I need nothing else. I'll get items eventually just via Hand of Midas. And he'll be feeling pretty good about himself. And they don't even leave the Ogre bottom, actually. They rotate the Ogre up. It's now a 2v2 on the bottom lane as the Boots Lina makes her way down.
Yeah, this should still be favorable in my mind to NiP unless the Rubik gets caught, right? It can't really go on the Juggernaut because of spin, so I still feel like they're holding sway over this lane. And sure enough, the Seal Kid, he actually comes back down to bottom lane. Again, continuing that pressure on the Slark and making the rotations kind of funky for Balkan Bears and knowing exactly what should they do in this situation.
Yeah, it's very difficult. I mean, yeah, I would like to see them just from NiP. It's interesting because we really didn't see that much Rubik in their last match, the best of 5 against Team Empire. But here they're up against the Lina the Disruptor. Certainly some good spells to grab. And it's also, in picking it up early in the draft, kind of denies BBC heroes that they would like to pick that would be really good to steal from. I mean, like, oftentimes there's enough of a deterrent not to pick up things like Tidehunter and Enigma, other major big ulti carriers there. So we'll see if BBC go the route of ignoring all those heroes because the Rubik would be too good against them, or just flooding the game with them and making it so that the Rubik has to choose which of his amazing skills to steal. But as far as the bans go, of course, the Troll, the Sniper banned out, as well the Wisp and the Earthshaker. So Lina and the Queen of Pain are going to be the big pickups, but interestingly not the Batrider. Batrider is very popular in the Eastern scene, but here in the Western, slightly lesser valued. And yeah, they're just going to go ahead and let it through to phase 2. And we're going to see Meepo Venge banned out, as well as the Treant and the Drow. So just
Pretty,
got this. Yeah.
Pretty standard bantamweight Meepo against Weehaw, right? Like, if you want that Meepo, you have to pick it up in the first one too, pretty much. No one will let you have a 3-4 Meepo if you're Balkan Bears alone anymore. Ever since Weehaw was playing it. Padrino also used to play it as I actually got to know Balkan Bears a bit there. They're all really great guys.